Hey everybody, this is Tim with Op-Ed Daily. I'd like to talk about Google, Cortana, and Siri and how everything that you say is likely transmitted to the servers respective to the clients that you're using, whether it's Siri, Cortana, or Google. And I can prove to you that at the very least, everything that you dictate to your phone is being stored in a server somewhere and is retrievable at any time in the future by just about anybody. I'll prove that to you by the end of this video. Before I get into all of that, however, I would like to explain how this video came to be. You see, a few months ago, I did a video about Windows 10. It had just rolled out, and I read through the terms of service and came across some very disturbing things that were in there, and I did a video about it. Essentially, the terms of service said, hey, we're Microsoft, and we are spying on you. And if you install this, then that means you are giving us permission to spy on you. Now, I realize that not very many people are going to read the terms of service. Anybody that has ever used the comment, well, you should have read it before you downloaded or installed it, that is the most ridiculous, asinine comment you can ever make. Those terms of service agreements are lengthy and boring for a reason, so that people won't read them. Yet in the court of law, they can come back and say, well, hey, you downloaded it, which means you automatically agreed to it. No, it didn't. It's pretty ridiculous. But nonetheless, a lot of people didn't know. A lot of people don't know. That's why I did the video, to inform people. If you know that it's happening and you give consent, then it's on you, even though it's wrong for them to do the things that they're doing in the first place. Now, that video blew up. There were torrent hosts that were redirecting all Windows 10 users that were trying to download files from them. They were redirecting them to my video. And it kind of blew up, I guess you could say. What's kind of disturbing, however, about that is the fact that a lot of people still did not believe it. They either didn't believe it, didn't care, or just wanted to pass me off as just another tinfoil hat nutbag. There was one particular comment that really just stuck with me. It was so annoying, but it bothered me because of how idiotic it was. This guy named Victor, I think his name was Victor, or something like that, I believe. He basically said, you haven't presented enough evidence for me to believe what you have just said. To that, my response was, what the hell else do you want me to tell you? I'm reading verbatim the terms of service laid out by Microsoft that you agree to upon installation. Essentially, that equates to Microsoft standing in front of you saying, hey, we are spying on you. That's Microsoft's own words, not mine. I read it verbatim. In fact, I prefaced that quote with, bear with me because this is a lengthy quote, and then I read verbatim from the terms of service. So how much more facts do you need? Like, what evidence do you require to realize that, yes, they are in fact going to spy on you? They just told you that they will. Why do you believe that they won't? But nonetheless, after I made that response, he never responded again. I guess he went on vacation, whatever the case may be. Well, then this other gentleman, Alex B., and hello, Alex B., if you're listening, I'd like to thank you for commenting on my video and coming to my video altogether. And this video is essentially directed at your comment. This is what stirred up me researching a little bit more, because before I responded to what Alex B. had said, I did some research just to make sure that they hadn't patched things over. His response was in regard to my comment about Cortana and the fact that it's always listening to you. Always. and that information is transmitted to their servers. He made the claim that there's no way that they could do that. That's too much bandwidth, and they wouldn't do that. And they don't care about things that you say in your home. They don't care about that stuff. He said it's possible that they only scan for certain words and what have you, and then that's transmitted, as if that's okay. Of course, in Alex B's defense, he never said that that was okay, and he never really said that it was a good thing or a positive thing. He was simply making a point. So for that, I will defend you. However, the comment itself is a passive-aggressive way to sugarcoat something that's in violation of everybody's privacy. And it's also misguided. I responded to that comment by explaining how the functionality works. And I opened it up with, Alex, you're taking what I said to the literal extreme, that every single thing that is spoken near your phone is transmitted. Now, it is entirely possible and highly plausible and highly probable that that is the case. That's not exactly what I meant, because the program is already designed to seek out, or at least listen for, keywords. In the case of Google, it's OK Google. So when you say OK Google, then your phone will activate or whatever, depending on if you're on the right screen. For the Chrome browser, you open up a new tab and then you say OK Google and it'll activate. So in that case, it's already set up to listen for these keywords. So you're correct, Alex. It does scan for these words. But how do you think it knows when you've said that word if it isn't listening to you constantly? In order for it to be able to pick up you saying, OK Google, it has to be listening to you. It has to be. Otherwise, it wouldn't know that you've said it unless you clicked a button or clicked microphone or whatever the case may be. But no, all you have to do is say, OK, Google, and it will turn on. If you don't believe me, go to your Google Chrome and open it up and find out. And if you have a phone, you can even use that on the newer devices. They have OK Google already ready. Now, these are turned on by default. But during the research that I did, and it didn't take me very long to find it, I discovered something so disturbing and so sinister that I may actually leave my phone at home or even just turn the damn thing off altogether because it is so disturbing. You can go to history.google.com/history/audio, I believe is the URL. Whatever it is, I'm leaving a link to it below in the comments section, not in the comment section, in the description. And if you are a user of Google Chrome, I suggest you click that link. And then in the comments section, I would like you to type out a little explanation of how that makes you feel once you see what it is that I'm trying to get you to see. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and pause this video. Click that link. And then type your comment about how that makes you feel, about what it is you're seeing when you click that link. Because I can tell you it disturbed the shit right out of me. Normally, I wouldn't have used Google's OK Google or even the voice to text. And the reason why I wouldn't normally do that is because whenever you say anything to your phone, it transmits that audio to their server. And it translates this audio. And it also does this to provide, quote, quality assurance. There was this Reddit user, I believe his name was Fallen Mist. He started working for this company named Walk and Talk, I believe is what it was called. And he divulged this information that his job was to verify the how correct or how accurate the transcription and the audio file was. And he said he was coming across people using Siri that were, okay, Siri, do this to me, talking sexual to Siri, as a joke, because Siri can have some pretty funny responses, or even kids, talking, okay, do you like me, Siri, just random things. And it disturbed this Reddit user because he was listening to people's personal conversations that they were having with their very personal device. A phone is a very personal device for a lot of people. There is a lot of very intimate details on people's phones. And when they speak to it using these assistants like OK Google or Cortana or Siri, they will say things that they would say in company that they either trusted or by themselves. Things that they don't really want other people to hear. I mean, I've said some pretty stupid things to my device when I'd go through the Google Play Store and download those silly assistants just to see what they would say in response. So he divulged this to Reddit. But then that's when I discovered the audio history in Google. Now, see, in Oklahoma, they just passed a law where we can no longer text and drive. We can no longer be touching and using our phone while we drive. We just can't do that. So now I have to use this voice-to-text functionality if I want to use my phone while I'm driving. So as soon as I clicked on that link, I saw everything. I saw all of the timers that I set. As my children will want to play on the computer and they will want to take turns. So they'll ask me to set a timer. So instead of going to clock and then going to alarms and going to do this, whatever, I will say, okay, Google, set timer for 15 minutes or whatever the case may be. And every single one of those requests I found in an audio file and a text transcription was located at history.google.com/history/audio. And even the text messages that I send to my wife via voice to text because I'm driving, I found in there. Now that is highly disturbing to me. If that doesn't disturb you, then, I don't take your clothes off for the person that for some stranger. Do that. Does that disturb you? If knowing that all of your conversations, your personal, intimate conversations that you have via voice to text, because you are not allowed by state law to speak or type onto your phone while you drive, if that doesn't bother you, then what the hell does bother you? Is anything sacred in your own personal, intimate life? Now, what if you found out somebody had bugged your apartment? Would that bother you? If some random person that you could see and feel and look at and talk to, if you discovered that he had placed a video camera in your house, and in your bathroom, no less, would that bother you? Surely it would. And that's where we're at here. Strangers are in your home. Everything that you say is being listened to at all times now. How many computers do you have in your home? I have several in mine. I have one in just about every room. Only one of them has a mic, and it's this one. And unfortunately, there is black box coded programming inside of Google Chrome, Chromium rather, that bypasses all of the pre-auditing of programs. So essentially, they force feed your computer with this microphone activation that happens when you install Chrome. A lot of people don't know that, but it's there and it's set on by default. So as soon as you install Chrome, boom, your microphone is hot. Somebody is listening to you. You didn't turn that microphone on, but it's on now, and there's not a lot you can do about it. You can go in there and say that you turn it off, But do you really think that it's turned off? Do you really think they're not listening to you? I doubt it. If they would go to the links of creating a web page that allows you to go and look at your own audio file history, what are they going to do next? All of your pictures are being taken. You say, "Okay, Google," and they're going to tell you, for security purposes, we take a picture every time "Okay, Google" is uttered in the presence of your phone. So now they've, say you're sitting in your bed naked, or whatever the case may be. Of course, I'm grasping at straws now, and maybe it's a slippery slope argument, but it isn't too far off base. The fact of the matter is that your life is not sacred anymore. Your life, because of technology, is no longer private. Because of the fascist oligarchs in this country, you have no privacy from the government, nor do you have privacy from corporations. Since corporations and government are now one and the same, you do not have privacy from your government or from the corporations that you spend all of your money on. I think it's important that people realize and understand the implications of this here. What's sad is that most people, maybe not most, maybe I shouldn't say most, many people won't care. Well, I don't know who's reading my stuff, and I don't care. I don't talk about anything that I really would mind. I can say sexual stuff as long as I don't know the person is actually listening to me. It doesn't bother me. That is so weird. That is a foreign concept to me. Privacy, in my opinion, is one of the highest priorities, or at least it should be, and has been. The founding of this country was based upon individual and personal privacy. The privacy of your property. The privacy of what goes on in your home. If you have an expectation of privacy, then you should have privacy. But we don't have that anymore. There is no expectation of privacy in this nation at all anymore. There are lights that go down the sidewalk where there are cameras and microphones attached to them, and they are listening to you all the time. Your phones are listening to you all the time. The government is listening to you all the time, even when you think you aren't being listened to. I guarantee you, there's a microphone close by and it's listening to you. There's a video, a camera somewhere, and it's either taking pictures of you or it's watching you. Now, maybe that information doesn't bring any kind of safety or what have you, but it's there. And it's always there, and it's always watching you. So now that you know, there's no excuse. Put your phones down. Stop taking your phones everywhere. That's the only option we have, is to stop using these damned companies. After this video, I'm almost 100% sure I'm going to leave my phone now. I'm going to remove the battery and get a landline. Now, even those, yes, are susceptible to hacking, but it's a lot less likely. I think technology is ultimately going to save and destroy us at the same time. It's going to destroy our way of lives. It's going to destroy our sovereignty. It's going to destroy our privacy. But it will also save us from inefficient life. It will save us from being an inefficient people. But is it worth losing your privacy in order to gain a little bit of efficiency? In my opinion, that is not the case, and that is not the world that I want to live in, and nor is it the world that I want to leave to my children. I hope you all feel the same, and I hope you leave in the comment section how it makes you feel now that you know what you know. And if you haven't done so yet, click on that link and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's very disturbing. And if you don't think that Cortana and Siri do it as well, then I really don't know what else to say to you. Anyway, that's all for now. I will keep you updated if I hear anything else. This is Tim with Op-Ed Daily. Peace out.